there, you're tuned into MEA Worldwide. I'm your host, Elena Jordan, and today I am thrilled to be joined by Beth Grant, who has been in so many phenomenal movies and television shows. Very excited about your upcoming role, though, on Dollface on Hulu. Yes! So tell me a little bit about your character, because this is such a unique role in that you are playing this cat lady who is an actual cat.
Who is an actual cat, yes. It's very unusual. It is a first for me, for sure. I've animated or voiced some animated movies like Rango. I was fortunate to be in that one that won Best Animated Picture.
And you've done King of the Hill and so
King
many.
of the Hill. Yeah, I've done a few of those, but that's very different than this. Very different. Although Rango, we did have a different technique in that we all acted together and they did the animation later. So that's a little bit different, but we didn't have the dots. And so my agent called and she said, this one's a little bit different, and read the script, see what you think. And I said, well, who's in it? She said, Kat Dennings. I said, oh, well, wait a minute. I'm very interested. I read it that minute. We got off the phone. I read it right then. Fell in love with the script. My only question was, do I have to do prosthetics? Because I really am too old to do prosthetics. You know, your skin gets thinner as you age. And they said, no, it's going to be all computer generated. And so I said, sign me up. And I've just loved it so much. But I really looked so strange on the set. I don't know how Kat acted with me and how people talked to me, because I had about, I'd say 25 black dots all over my face. My hair slicked back, greased back so that, you know, they could do all the animation, the VFX, and they had to do all these strange things. After every scene, they would go in 360, shoot still photography of me in 360, and then they would have to do a bunch of special clapboards and stuff in the very beginning, and so it was fascinating to me. I'd never been through anything like it, and I am a cat lady.
And I love that you're the cat who works with Kat.
Yeah, I work with Kat. I know, isn't that crazy? And we have a cat on stage who's a beautifully trained, sweetest kitty in the world. And so, I love cats. I used to have 5 cats. In fact, I meant to bring you a picture. I have a picture of all 5 of them eating at once. So it was pretty sweet to have 5 cats at one point when my daughter was being raised. But it's been so much fun. I love Kat so much, and she is as fabulous as I thought she would be. Very down to earth, very funny, very supportive, and just a wonderful star. I mean, you know, as a supporting actor, I've worked with so many people, and she's the kind that you just would spend the rest of your life with if you could. You know, I just love her, so very fortunate.
So happy.
Yeah, it's really been a great experience.
And I love that this show too is so female driven. It's all about female friendships and about empowering other females. And you have worked with some amazing women throughout your career, too.
I'm so lucky.
I loved you as Beverly on the Mindy Project, one of my all-time favorite roles.
Beverly, too.
So funny. And you worked with Mindy, too, going all the way back to The Office when you were...
Well, you know, I didn't get to work with her on The Office, funnily enough. I did a couple of episodes, and particularly the dinner party episode, which is just a classic. But it took place at Steve Carell's character's, Michael's, condo, and so the rest of the office staff wasn't there, just a few people that were at the dinner party, so I never met her. And then the other one that I did, she wasn't on set that day. So when we met, I said, I can't believe I didn't meet you, and here I am doing your show in not the same character, but sort of a similar, but she didn't know
Dwight's
me.
babysitter.
Dwight and girlfriend.
And girlfriend,
How demented is that? And they're still seeing each other. I love that last shot when he leaves me at the bus stop and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him. Ooh, you don't really want to know too much more, do you? But anyway, he was so wonderful. I love Rainn Wilson.
Yes. Do you have any roles too? Because you have played some just absurd characters. I mean, Donnie Darko, I imagine you still get stopped for the sparkle motion line.
You know, it's has such a following, and it seems to me that people who love the movie pass it down to the next generation, and then they pass it down to the next generation, because the fans always sort of stay, you know, the same age. I mean, not that you can't still love it after you get older, but the ones that are rabid fans are like between, I'd say, 13 and 30 in there, and they stop and they always want me to say the line, sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion. And
I wasn't going to ask you to say it, but I'm so glad you did.
They love it, and I love it. It's funny that a simple line that Richard Kelly wrote would become such a phenomenon. It's pretty fantastic, you know. I wonder if there's anything on Dollface that will catch on like that, because I've got some pretty good feminist lines on that. I have to think about that.
Do you have a favorite line? I don't want to spoil anything from Dollface, but
because there are some surprises. You've seen all 10 episodes.
I have not.
You have not?
I have not gotten to see them yet. I
So
just saw the little preview.
Then.
Yeah, I just got to see the
well,
little taste.
I cannot tell you.
I'm waiting. I cannot wait for the 15th when they all
Well,
come.
you do know that I'm probably like her, instead of her spirit animal, her spirit cat lady, I would say, sort of a guardian angel. So you can imagine that as I continue to give advice and counsel and guide her on her way into being a feminist and egalitarian, to recreating these friendships with women friends. You know, I think so many of us women, and I know I'm not alone in this, I can't speak for you, but join in if it's true, we get in a relationship and we sort of let go of our women friends, and it's a sad thing. I don't know why we get so absorbed. Not that we give them up altogether, but you distance yourself a little bit because you're so wrapped up in your new love interest. And so this is the story of a girl's way, or a woman, a young woman, but we can call ourselves girls too.
Yeah,
I'm still a girl.
we can. Yes,
I'm still hot. And so I think that, you know, she finds her way back to these friendships, and she never stopped loving these women, and they never stopped loving her, but they have to recreate themselves, and they have to find each other. So it's pretty beautiful. And I know at my age, my women friends are super important, and there are a couple that I had to find my way back to. There really are, especially friends from high school. I had a reunion last year. I was making a movie in my hometown, Wilmington, North Carolina, and I saw friends I hadn't seen, and you're not going to believe this, fasten your seatbelts, 50 years. Wow. And it was like no time passed. We were giggling, we were telling jokes, we remembered all the boyfriends and the wild stories, and we're hugging, and it was beautiful. So those friendships never die, but it takes a little work to keep them alive. And it's only to our benefit because there's so much comfort there. So
I love that. If you could give some inspirational advice to the women who are watching now about the importance of female friendships, what would your Beth Catley advice be?
I would say, you know, write that email, make that phone call, take that visit, you know, go back to that little town that you came from and see those friends that you loved. Chances are good if you love them then, you'll probably love them now. So, but even the women that are in your circle now, you know, take time to have that lunch, that coffee, that brunch, that cocktail, you know, and just catch up. Stay caught up, because when the chips are down, those will be the people that comfort you the most.
I love that. That is brilliant advice. I can't wait to see more of your catism inspirations throughout the show too. Now, we're talking about kind of the tone about it. The first time you've done the motion capture and everything, because it has these kind of absurdist qualities, which makes sense since it's, you know, produced by people who did Angie Tribeca and, you know, kind of more the outlandish things.
Risk takers.
Yes. It kind of reminds me tonally of Pushing Daisies, that I know that you were also on.
I'm so glad you said that.
It
does me too. The bright color, saturated color, and the magical realism. And yes, very much so. In fact, when I did put Brian Fuller, my dear, beautiful Brian Fuller, who is such a genius.
I love him.
Oh my gosh. And Pushing Daisies, honestly, if there hadn't been a Writers Guild strike, I think it would have run forever. But you know how it is with a show. It gets momentum, and then the Writers Guild strike, I think, lasted 9 months or something.
Yeah.
So when it came back, it just didn't have a chance to rebuild the audience, because it was very loved and is still beloved, and people still want to bring it back, and they want it to be a Broadway show, to be a musical. Kristen Chenoweth is such an incredible singer. And so, you know, maybe it's not over yet, maybe a movie, who knows what Brian has up his sleeves. But yes, it does have that magical realism. And that was the thing about the pilot that got me so excited. I thought about Brian, because there's a scene this won't give anything away, I don't think, but when she is trying to connect with women at work and all the cool girls are sitting at the lunch table and she starts to sit down with them and the table flies away. And then she goes to sit down again and the table backs up further. And I said, oh my God, what are they doing? This is fantastic. I'm going to be a cat and the table's moving because isn't that symbolic of the cool girls table? Like it feels so
just
far
out of
away.
reach.
Just out of reach, and no matter how much you reach out for them, they seem to go a little further. So when I read that, I just said, oh, they're really onto something special here. And it's not just for women either, because my husband was with me the other night when we saw the whole first episode, and he was thrilled out of his mind. In fact, I had to go home because I had an early call the next morning, and he said, oh, let's stay. I said, we gotta go, you know. So when you get a guy, you know, who loves it too, then they're really into something special. So I think even though it's so personal and it is so much about women, I think guys are going to like it too. I think they're going to relate to it.
It's more broad than you would think. I mean, it is definitely unique in that it is so female-centric without it being about a relationship. It is about, you know, the aftermath and the friendships.
Yes, and it's about his too, and his story, which I won't give away, develops much more as we go along. We get to know a lot more about him and their relationship, and he's not judged harshly. He's very human, as they all are. That's the other thing, is that this character, Jules, is flawed. You know, Kat's playing her very realistically. She's not like a goody two-shoes that was injured, and she's not a victim. And I love that about it too, so.
I'm the more we were talking about it, the more excited I am about
good.
this show, and
Yay.
I'm already so excited.
Well, I plan to have no plans this weekend and binge the whole
and just
thing.
binge it. Same.
It's so fun to do that. You know, I love to like watch a couple of episodes of a show that I love, then take a break, have some food, make some popcorn, come back, watch a couple more episodes, you know, take a walk, come back, and all the while my dog's into it. You know, she's on the sofa with me. Right now I don't have a cat, but I have a dog that's half cat. I'm telling you, if it's possible that cats and dogs can breed, this is what they would create, because she's a little 11-pound mutt, and we call her a cat bat. You know, she's just the sweetest little thing. So I have my little cat on the sofa.
Now, you were mentioning about binge watching and kind of this digital revolution that has changed the way that we're watching television.
Yes.
A lot of this, too, has led to these big demands to call back shows like Pushing Daisies.
Yes.
I know The Office will just... Anytime they start to take it off Netflix, there is just a huge pushback.
And Mindy Project is still on
Mindy
Hulu.
Project, yes, which I love.
We never left. We're still there.
Yes.
I love Hulu. Hulu is the best. I mean, I call it a network, but I know that's an old-fashioned word. Streaming service. They're so creative. I told this story the other day, and it's true. I was at a Christmas party a couple of years ago, and I was talking to this new CEO of Hulu, and he says to me, what can we do to support artists? And I literally got dizzy. I couldn't believe that a CEO was asking such a question, but my answer was, you're doing it. Mindy Kaling said that when we moved to Hulu, it was the first time in her life she felt like an artist. And so they're doing something right when they're supporting us. And then to take a chance on a show like this, Dollface, with the magical realism, I would even say surrealism, and this cat, you know, that's a special group of people. So I really love Hulu. I think, Kat really landed in the right place. Kitty cat.
All the cats
All
are
the
in
cats.
the right. That is incredible, though. I've never heard of anything like that.
In my
of the
career,
CEO.
and I've been around a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is...
Because they're usually talking about the bottom line.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's very concerned with that too. But, you know, he knows, the smart person knows you support artists, you let them do their thing, you let them create, and you'll have hits.
Because you'll have the good quality
They'll
that
have the good
people
quality, and
jump
people
on.
will flock to it. I mean, that's what always happens. Even in a good neighborhood. If there's a neighborhood and all the artists start moving in, you can bet those property values are going to go up. It's the way it always happens.
Art just makes everything better.
Yeah, it does.
No, because there have been so many calls to kind of revive some older shows and potentially even do some reboots of different movies. and you've played so many amazing roles. Is there anyone in particular that you want to see come back?
Well, in addition to Pushing Daisies, another Brian Fuller project that he made and wrote with Todd Holland, who's also my dear friend, Wonder Falls. Now, we only had 12 or 13 episodes, but it's magical. And it's about a very reluctant hero, and I think that would make, it's not a lot. As I say, they're just that one half a season, or now it would be a full season though. Actually, when you think about it, since we do in 10 episode increments now, probably would be a full season of Wonder Falls. That would be the first thing I think of. Oh. And I think you would eat it up, and so would everybody else. It was prematurely canceled. It was didn't have a good time slot, and at that time it was so different. But now I think that it was ahead of its time, and I think now it would fit right in. I think that it would have a huge following. So I would say Wonder Falls. Other than that, was I robbed of anything else?
Is there any particular character that you would like to get the chance to play again just because it was so fun being her?
Oh, gosh. Well, there was something that never got on the air that I did with Frances Fisher called Prosperity, and both of our daughters were in it. And I played a 24-hour therapist, a life coach, acting coach. I had a catering service. I mean, this woman was so desperate to make it. And I loved her desperation. And she was probably closer to me in my inner life than anything I've ever done. But we almost sold it. And then one of the executives was let go that very week. Oh, no. And then both of us, fortunately, got series. It was right around the time that I got the Mindy Project, and Frances got a series, so we never went out with it. So maybe there's a life there with that one. I don't know. We shot it in a improvisational style, and I just loved my character named Lynn Virtue, and she was Taser McQueen. She was a movie star, and I was a down-and-out character actress, and we moved in together with our daughters, and the rest is history that may never be seen. Will probably never be seen, but I miss Lynn Virtue. I think there could be a life for her.
I like that name. It fits kind of the aesthetic of a lot of the characters that you have played.
But I love all of my characters. You think I'm being a Pollyanna, but I'm not. When I do a film festival and they show a reel, and they go and they find these characters, I don't even remember I did them, and I'm sitting there watching them before I get up to make my little speech or whatever. And it's like visiting with friends. Every single character, I go, oh, I miss them, I love them. And even the terrible ones, like on Criminal Minds, this Mosley Lane episode directed by Matthew Gray Gubler himself. And, she was awful. But I understood why she was awful. She's the most evil character I ever played. And I said, Matthew, how am I going to do this part? I don't know. Well, I love you so much. And he said, Beth, it's a cautionary tale for parents to watch their children. And I'm going to do it like a Grimm's fairy tale. And I said, okay, I'm in. Because I've seen, sadly, parents do forget, especially with telephones, they forget to watch their kids, and it takes 30 seconds for someone to grab a kid. Oh, it's a terrible subject to bring up. But even the worst character I ever played on Criminal Minds, I understand her. Kitty Farmer, Donnie Darko, I understand her. So even my bad guys, and I've played a lot of them, I understand why they're the way they are. Usually they've had rough childhoods, something's happened to them. But Cat Lady, on the other hand, I think she had a great childhood. And if she's, taken this cat form to help, Jules, then, more power to her. She's a fairy godmother. You don't think of fairy godmothers as having a rough past. So I like to think that, our better angels, she represents our better angels who lead us on the way. So she's the most positive character I've ever played, maybe, I would say. Yeah, I would say that. The most positive character I've ever played. So
if you could have a dinner party with 5 of your characters, who would you want to sit down with the other physical manifestations of some of the characters you played and have them interact with each other? Well,
not just to pitch Dollface, I really mean it. I would want Cat Lady there because I need advice. And I think that, my marriage is great. I've been married 34 years. I'm very happy. But it never hurts to get a little more counsel from a wise angel. So I would say I'd have Cat Lady there. I'd definitely have Kitty Farmer from Donnie Darko.
A kitty meets cat.
Oh my goodness. And I played another kitty character on Yes Dear.
Oh
I don't want her at dinner, though. She was like Keith Richards, you know. It's like, I like Keith Richards, love Keith Richards. Well, he's sober now. I guess he would probably be a good dinner companion. He might be able to tell us a little things. But anyway, you're talking about characters that I played. Okay, well, I love this character named Martha on Coach. I recurred. Oh, my goodness, I loved her so much. And Martha was a seminal character for me. Beverly came from Martha. The dinner party episode, the character on The Office sort of came from Martha. And many, many other characters. She's very, dry-witted. And she doesn't have much to say, and she comes from a strange place, and her stuff that she does say is pretty wacky, but she's wise in her own way. I mean, there was an episode where she counseled Mindy that she was too good. She didn't have to marry anybody. That if she didn't know what to do, she shouldn't marry anybody. What great advice is that?
That's true.
Even Beverly had some, maybe put Beverly at the table. Okay, so we got Beverly. How about Lizzie from Friends?
Yes.
Lizzie was pretty wise. She kept the money,
Smart. Oh.
I love that she called Phoebe weird girl, So Lizzie, oh my goodness, I can't pick my characters. I love every single one. Tu Wong Fu, I love that character. Baby Ugly.
Yes.
Her father called her Baby Ugly, but once the girls came to town and fixed her up, she looked pretty gorgeous. So, I don't know, I love them all. Every single one.
Oh, well, I love every character that you have played, and
Thank
you
you
yourself are just so amazing and inspirational.
Oh, you're so sweet. That's because we're Southern girls.
Yes,
know.
we were both born in Alabama, so
Yeah, that's right. Me Gadsden and you Birmingham.
In Birmingham,
That's
yes.
not far from each other either.
There you go.
I was a few years before you.
And it's the fates bringing us back
And Sandra
here in
Bullock's
LA.
father
There you
was
go.
from Birmingham.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I've worked with her 4 times. I should not have any interview go by without mentioning the queen of all queens, Sandra Bullock, who's the kindest, most lovely person. And I've had the good fortune to work with her 4 times, so lucky me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I got to work with her on Blindside in Atlanta, so
you
look at that,
did?
small world.
Oh, how about that? How great. John Lee Hancock.
Oh, well, thank you so much
My
for coming
pleasure.
in
I'm
and
so glad to
talking
meet
with
you.
us. So glad to meet you. And tell everybody where they can keep up with you online and when they can see Dollface.
Oh, well, Dollface drops this Friday, November 15th.
Yeah.
Binge it. Get some popcorn, get some chocolate-covered malted milk balls, whatever you like. Sit down, binge Dollface this weekend. I know you'll be doing it. You can call me and tell me what you think.
Yeah.
And I am very easy to remember on Instagram and Twitter at Beth Grant Actor. And on Facebook too. My page is Beth Grant Actor, so pretty easy to find me. And I'd love to hear from my followers because I like communicating with people on a one-on-one. So anybody that wants to get in touch, reach out.
You are just amazing. You're an absolute delight. Thank you again so
As
much.
are you. Thank you.
And you guys can check out all of our interviews at MEA Worldwide. That's MEAWW.com. Until next time, I'm Elena Jordan. Have a good day.